I mean, I'm going to get really fired up about mine. I have like an eternal flame for this one. It's always burning because this one really pisses me off. But once I get all that rage out, I don't know what else I'll be able to. I'm sure I'll think.
You'll feel up.
I got plenty of shit to be mad about. Hey folks, welcome to Quick Sidebar, where we talk about anything and everything and get distracted often. I'm Dan, here with
Bradley
and
Jake.
And today we're talking about pet peeves again. Pet peeves part 2.
You loved it. You wanted more of it.
You love to watch us hate.
Now it's here.
It's here.
Listen to us hate. Yes,
I'm ready for an ulcer.
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
I
Mentally,
have one.
physically, I'm way too young.
Mentally prepared for an ulcer before.
A mental ulcer.
You should have mentally prepared for my ulcer.
Oh.
So you should have the steps and plan. Where do we go? What do we do?
Give me just 1 second.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I'm prepared.
Okay, the
prepared
pants
for
are
Jake's
coming
ulcer.
unbuttoned. Let's do this.
Why?
They're just a little tight.
Oh, okay.
And my ulcer.
Did you really think of something, or was it like was it Fat Suits last time that you thought of it? Like when we made you think of a name on the spot?
Big suits. That's
Big
what it was.
Suits. Big Suits.
Big suits.
I wanted to make that joke, but I'm like, fuck, I'm going to mess it up. See, I did Fat Suits, and I would have been wrong, so I'm glad I didn't make that joke. So yeah, today we're talking about pet peeves part 2. Things that irk you, I think I said last time, really get under your skin. I'm trying to recreate what I said. I don't remember.
That sounds familiar.
It feels familiar. Pet peeves. I mean, everyone knows what pet peeves are. So what are some of your new ones? We'll try to not rehash old ones, but I'm sure they'll come back.
Also, can I start?
Yeah, because you have more currently, so you start.
So I'll
Which is ironic, because you're the happiest of the three of us. That's weird. You have the most anger.
I will start off light.
Okay. Oh. So that means we're going dark at some point.
Well, sorry, light versus heavy, not light versus dark.
Okay.
I should have.
Heavy can still be kind of dark.
It could be.
I mean, heavy implies it could really how you.
Yeah.
So we can still be okay. Well, start with your light one.
Right. Light. When people put public figure on their Instagram page that like aren't public figures, it kind of has to do with
I've
like.
never noticed anyone doing
it's
that.
it's like the oh my gosh, what are they called? Influencers.
Oh,
like
social media influencers?
Yeah, people that have
Okay.
like 12,000 Instagram followers, 5,000 Instagram followers, and they just put public figure on there. Like, no, I don't know who you are. You're not adding anything to the country, to the world. What you do is you post fancy pictures of yourself, like looking fit or in a boat.
Is that it?
Like, yeah,
Theater
you're
boats?
not
Is
doing
that-
a boat.
You're not doing anything. Like, what does public figure mean? Like,
Well, to me, a public figure would be like the average idiot knows the neck. If you walk up to someone and say, "Do you know Bruce Willis?" Everyone pretty much, yeah, I know that he's a public figure, but
There's got to be a
Instagram,
number. There's got to be a specific number of followers you got to have.
I think
before-
a million.
No, but you can put like. Are you saying in terms of when it should be acceptable to put it on, or like when you physically? Right. Oh, okay. Because you can put it on. I can make my Instagram public figure, and then I'll look like a douchebag because it's dumb. What does it mean? And then I hear, watch.
What does it mean? I feel like there needs to be a definition for that.
Give me a celebrity.
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds.
yeah,
He's always going to be the first.
Does he have public figure on his? No,
'Cause he doesn't need it,
He has
'cause he isn't.
28.5 million followers. Now I'm gonna put in.
Is that? I'm confused. I've never noticed this public figure thing.
now that Jake's talking about it, I've like I've never thought
I would
about it.
have just assumed that all famous people then have public figure on their thing.
No, because the people, who are public
what is
figures don't need
actually-
to put that shit.
Exactly.
'Cause
What
they're
is
already
it
public
Actually,
figures.
the definition. This is weird
figure
now. Why is that even an
meaning.
option? That
Okay.
shouldn't even be an option then.
A public figure, I think, is someone who literally influences masses in some way, whether it's through just their like, I don't know, like PP, like The Rock, for example. He has what, like how many followers does The Rock?
I feel like on Instagram you can't be a public figure unless you have one of those like little check marks next to your name that says
Verified?
this is verified.
Yeah,
As actually
okay.
Ryan
Oh,
Reynolds.
okay, but The Rock has public figure on it. See,
That
I
doesn't
don't-
surprise me at all.
Put your hate away.
First of all, look how many The Rock has 134
Yeah,
million
and I'm-
followers.
and
I
I-
would agree that's.
But I'm just saying, I
a
think
third
it's-
of the country.
I think it's a conceited, dumb title.
Well, it's like on
Public
Facebook has
figure.
something similar to it.
I just
though.
I just
that's
disagree.
fair.
I just
Public
don't like
figure.
it. Just don't like it.
Well, and that could come
It
down to
irks me.
who runs the Instagram.
Gets under your skin.
It's under your
Yeah.
skin. Irks you. I feel like though the public figure thing, maybe you you get that when you don't actually run your account?
Dude, I can literally. I'm gonna make
You're
my.
like so important that like you have a guy or a person.
I'm gonna make my
Clearly,
Instagram.
if you
public
actually
figure.
can, then it isn't.
Or can I?
I feel like we're at public figure status, right, guys?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, quick sidebar, public figure.
Collectively, we're a public figure.
We need
People know
after
us.
this episode, we need to change our Instagram.
We can only we're only a public figure when all three of us are present in the order of our logo. That's
Right.
like that's when we are public
That's the only
figure.
time-
Otherwise,
Yeah,
we're
that's
unrecognizable.
So if me and Brad just switch
We also-
places, then we immediately lose that.
We also
status.
need to wear
like-
silhouettes.
We're like
have the
Clark
one thing
Kent,
popping
you
through.
know. It's like as soon as we get into position, we're Superman, but as soon as we get out, we're like, who are these strangers?
Yeah, who are these idiots? They look the same, but they're missing something.
But see, what's funny is on our Instagram we are entertainment website. So
I mean, that
does that make us
Entertainment
much
website.
better?
it's entertaining. How
See, it's we're not even really an entertainment website because we're not a website.
Okay, new pet peeve. Redefined, refined pet peeve. And this goes towards us too.
Okay.
When people feel that they need to assign a label to themselves. Because if you really are that label, you don't need the label. If you really are a public figure,
Don't they
The
ask you
Rock,
though to do that?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Don't
he
they
would have
ask
that.
you to like
They
categorize
might.
I
what
think
your
you
quote unquote
can.
business is?
Yeah. Okay. For
If you're like a business
It
profile
may just be
page.
like the sign up.
Because like on Facebook, they make
no,
you pick something.
that's true. That's true.
I actually now I'm thinking about it though. For real though.
Sorry, I'm getting all defensive.
On Facebook though, isn't there if you're famous enough, you can't because I see because the Instagram thing is strange because on Facebook when you reach a certain point you don't have friends anymore.
Well, no, that's a whole different thing. That's a Facebook page versus a Facebook profile.
Oh, that's fair.
So
I
like,
guess.
so like you can
Okay.
make like quick sidebars,
Page, not a profile.
page. Yeah. So, but like celebrities have that too.
That's
and-
true. I guess.
But you know,
maybe that's the. But even that,
that's
I
weird
don't know.
too.
What?
Like if you had a, but no, I get it. Okay, I don't know. My pet peeve is that I don't know how I feel about this.
This happens every episode.
Wow. All
right.
Jake comes out strong and he's like,
I take it back. Actually, I'm not pissed.
now that I'm here, I don't know. I'm gonna go back.
By the end of the episode, he's going to be like, I hate it when people don't have public figure on their profile page.
People who are public
How
figures
am I
and don't have it
supposed
are
to know if
fucking
you are or
losers.
aren't, you know?
Yeah, I'm flaky. Okay, who's next?
I'll go since I have this one that I've been looking forward to getting this one out because this is one that just burns more and more.
Should we?
Yeah.
Should I adjust
I won't
the
shout.
game?
Just the game.
I will try to be calm.
Okay.
As calm as Dan can be, which isn't that calm. No, but it's a very real one. I think it affects a lot of people. I work at a restaurant. You know, I won't say I don't want to get any bad. The Waffle Lab.
You don't want to get any bad what?
I don't know.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor, unless you want to be. Actually, I could.
Why do
make
you
it,
always say that?
in case they're listening. My manager might listen, and But anyway, so we close at 3 p.m. because we're a breakfast, brunch, lunch place.
Lame.
I know it's good because I have to go home.
Breakfast all day.
Well, we do till 3.
It's not all day.
All my day, god damn it, I'm here 8 hours. So we close at 3. So my personal policy about restaurants, and that's not the first restaurant I've worked at. Me and Brad served at the Olive Garden together for a glorious.
Not a sponsor.
I don't want Olive Garden sponsors. So.
Unless you want to.
Only if we get free breadsticks, Olive Garden. That's the only way I'll let you
yeah.
sponsor us. But anyway, is when people you close at a time. I personally never go to a restaurant with an hour left before they close. Unless it's a different thing. Unless it's like late at night, or you're going to be quick, or it's one of those kind of like an IHOP or a Village Inn's a little different. But like when you go on
Or
a
if
place,
it's like a restaurant that closes at like 3 p.m., then I'd be like, who cares?
yeah. But why would you go on it too? But
It's waffles.
no, any person, and if you're listening, I hate you, and you need to unsubscribe. If you show up to a restaurant,
That was a Dan opinion.
you show up to a restaurant.
Dan does not represent the opinions of Quick Sidebar.
If you show up to a restaurant with a half hour or less before they close, you are the worst kind of human being that has ever existed. Because not only are you fucking over the front of house staff, especially when it's a slow. Now again, if it's a weekend or something like a day that they plan to be busy, that's one thing. Because it's like, yeah, it's a Saturday, it's a Friday. That's the days. But like a Tuesday, and you roll into a restaurant closes at 3 at 2:30. Go fuck yourself.
Okay, I got questions.
I got thoughts.
Bradley and I have thoughts and
Because
questions.
you just fucked over everyone in that restaurant.
So here are my thoughts about coming in right before close. Now, yes, it does suck, and yes, the employees do hate it.
Oh, they hate you.
Yes, but at the same time, because I've thought about this extensively, because everyone at Starbucks complains about it all the time.
Oh yeah, it's all I bitch about.
But I feel like my personal opinion is that, technically speaking, like, let's just look at the facts here, right? It's your job, and the establishment is still open. It's not like you're coming in after it's closed. So you are still allowed to come. And so technically, it's not their problem. It's our problem.
Oh,
And,
no,
I
acknowledge that.
We can get upset about it, but at the same time, we're the ones at fault by getting upset because really, technically, we're getting paid to do this. This is our job.
No. Yeah,
And
I agree.
And so
I'm
really
fully aware of that.
And so when
That's why it's a pet peeve, Brad.
well, I'm just expressing my thoughts. And so, like, you know, if some
So
if
you're the
some
kind
place-
of person that would show up at 2:45.
I mean, I would think about it and make sure, like, do I really need it? Is there somewhere else I could go that stays open a little later that also has coffee or whatever it is I'm going for? But ultimately, I'm like, at the end of the day, yeah, I'll go in because it's their job to serve me. And
No, it's
they're not
Okay,
closed.
all right. Here are my thoughts. Having never worked in the service industry, I have no stake. I have honestly, my word means nothing. But as a consumer, as a customer, going in 30 minutes before closing at a sit-down restaurant, dick move.
Oh,
Yeah,
dick
okay.
move.
And that's
Yeah,
why I
totally.
work as a fucking sit-down restaurant.
Absolutely.
Now-
if it's a sit-down restaurant, that's bad.
If I'm going to a coffee shop,
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
and
yeah.
it's like 15 minutes till closing, and I know that my drink takes 2 minutes to make, I don't feel that bad.
No, I know. And like retail, because I used to work retail, and that when customers come in with 2 minutes left, it's like, okay, yeah, it's irritating. But it's not really hindering. The reason the restaurant thing pisses me off so much is because cleaning up a whole kitchen takes a long fucking time. There's a lot of shit you got to put into that. So to get preemptive, you start
doing it ahead of
closing
time.
ahead of time because
Yeah.
you're like, it's slow. And really the problem comes from when it's slow.
Yeah.
And there's no one in the restaurant, and you're like, okay, cool, I'm walking out of this bitch at 3. And then some dickhead rolls in, and then the thing is, some people will come in and go, hey, can I get it to go? I know you're about to close. I'm like, okay, at least just
Yeah.
fucking acknowledge that
Yeah.
you're being a
Right,
dick.
exactly.
Yeah.
At least just say, hey,
I was gonna add that.
I
is
know
that
I'm
if you
being,
are,
yeah.
If you are gonna do it, you gotta. There
Own
are
it.
there are ways to be like nice
Own it.
about it, and like to
I
be.
recognize
considerate.
what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I apologize ahead of time.
Well, and then
I
the
need a
people
waffle.
who go, can I get it to
Yeah.
go? Because I know you guys want to close. And that's
Yeah.
fine. It's the people that'll like, because there's this person who shows up, multiple people who will show up with 15 minutes left and sit down, whip out their computer, go to the bathroom, hang out. And you're like, dude, we fucking close in 15 minutes. Like, once we close, we're trying to get out of here and go
Yeah.
home. And they just don't care. They don't give a fuck. And those are the people that piss me off.
See, now that's something I have a problem with. That's
Yeah.
But
that's
I
a completely
agree.
different thing.
Yeah, because you have business hours. So yeah, if you say I
Right.
close at 3, you can't be pissed when people come in at 2. It's like, well, you can, but you can't really be mad.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's the people that have no clue. They're just like, oh, okay. I'm just gonna sit down and eat my waffle. So what I'll do, because I'm who I am, we play music in the back all day. And one time, this couple came in at like 2:50, and I was okay. Fuck these people. And they sat down like nothing. Hey guys, welcome in. And it's like, if you don't know it's closing time, just first of all, most places have a sign that says their hours, and if they don't, there's a wonderful thing called Google. I said that weird. Google. That will tell you the hours, and typically you'll
Not a
be pretty
sponsor.
close. Or you can call them like, when do you guys close?
Yeah.
I wish Google was sponsor as fuck.
That was really quiet. I like it. Just like kind of just slipped under.
Just
I feel
slipped
like.
in.
Yeah.
And so I started playing. We hit 3 o'clock, and I'm like, these people are just still sitting here, and it's like they were just chilling. So I played closing time.
Oh, we've
awesome.
we've done that.
And I cranked that fucker up, and the woman literally said, oh, are you guys closed? I heard closing time. Are you guys closed? I'm like, yeah, we are. I'm like, oh, and they left.
That is so
And
funny.
it worked.
hilarious.
And everyone used to shit on me. They're like, why you play that, Dan? It's not, and like, it worked. It got him out. It doesn't
That's
work all the time.
funny.
Once me and my coworker turned that song onto the sound system, and we both kind of just like stood there behind the bar with like our hands on our hips, just watching everyone pick up their stuff and just like waiting for them to
See,
leave.
that's what I mean. It's the people that just don't care. They don't acknowledge that they're inconveniencing you, and it's just rude. Because
Yeah.
I would never walk into a sit-down restaurant with a half hour left and be like, I'm going to order a full meal.
Yeah.
Unless it was like a really super weird circumstance, like I'd been driving all night and I just had to eat food. But then there's fast food for that kind of shit. So I can't think of a scenario where you have to show up at a restaurant,
Yeah.
a restaurant, not a fast food place, right before they close and act like it's just a full thing.
I remember one time I went to I was in Boulder with Jesse and Mitchell, and we went to go see Wonder Woman. and we didn't have dinner beforehand because it was like a 7:30 showing.
Oh,
So
that
it was like a weird time where we had been hanging before, had a late lunch, didn't eat dinner beforehand, and we were starving. And then Jesse and I had another hour to drive, so we were like, what do we do? And so we went to Chipotle like 5 minutes before they closed, and we like knew we were just going to be in and out. We were gonna take it to go and everything, and this is not the first time this has happened, but I remember like walking in and just seeing the people behind the counter go, "Oh fuck!"
In the second you left, they talk mad shit about you. And they hate you. Because at the donut shop, it's the same way. Because people do that shit there too. But that's a little different because it's a little faster.
Yeah.
But when people come in, it's always a half hour. Like I'll give people up to a half hour. But when it's that last 30 minutes. Most kitchens are shutting down at that, but most kitchens should just close. And I think that's things all restaurants like, sorry, if you come in the last half hour, it's for people who are currently in there and they're just finishing up and they're getting drinks and shit. But people will walk in and it'll be like, if we close at 10, it'll be 9:45. I'll look at them, how's it going, guys? And I'll stop and I'll turn back and I'll look at the clock. And I'll slowly turn back and go, how many can I get for you? I make it very clear that they know that I know what fucking time it is.
You should start wearing a watch so you go, "Hey guys."
Oh, I do that too. But see,
how's it going?
At Waffle Lab, I'm in the back, so I can't be like that. So I'll come out and look at people, and I'll peek around the corner and just stare at people and be like, "Oh, so you're the one I'm making this for right now? Okay." I want them to know. Oh God, that happens in some kitchens. I have some horror stories. My dad used to work in a restaurant. People used to work at a steak restaurant, and some cooks get really. It's definitely upsetting when someone sends your food back and you didn't do it wrong and they're just being picky and you're like, well, what's fucking wrong with my food? So I definitely get that. But he said a guy it was a steak restaurant and he made a steak and the guy sent it back and he said the cook was so mad he threw it on the floor and then picked it up and reheated it, threw it back on the floor and put it on the plate and sent it out. So don't send your fucking food back to restaurants unless it's egregiously wrong. Just shut up and fucking eat it because cooks are.
But shouldn't you have? Don't you think that if?
No, I agree. Hey,
Dan just shakes his head.
No, hey, I understand. Yeah, no one should be dead. That's fucked up and wrong to do to people because if they're not happy with the food, you should be like, okay, I'll make it right. I'm on your team, but that doesn't mean...
But you don't understand the monsters that are in this world.
But that doesn't mean that people that work in... Cooks are very... Like, real cooks. See, I'm just like a line cook. Like, I do simple... I make eggs and shit. Like, a monkey could literally learn to do my job.
Yeah.
But, like, people who go to culinary school and, like, are actual, like, cooks, they get... It's like art. It's art to them. Like, they're artists, and that's their work. Because when you shit on their art, they get really like, oh, well, why don't you like actors do, and you critique them. You know, it's the same shit. And so, unless it's just, like... horribly wrong, just shut up and eat it because it's not worth it because they will do some shit to it.
That's a t-shirt right there. Just shut up and eat it.
Because they'll, at the very least, you'll get spit in your food for sure. Like, and cooks do that kind of nasty shit. Not at my place again because I want to defend my restaurant. It's a great place and I work. You know, I hate people. And when people come in, I want to kill them. I'm like, you fucker. But I'm still going to give them a good product because I'm like, hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm still going to be good about it. I'll be pissed the whole fucking time, but I'll give them something decent to eat.
This is the best damn egg I've ever made.
But I'm never going to purposely do something horrible to someone's food. That's just bad. That's just wrong. Even someone from angry like me, I would never do that.
Good for you, Dan.
Unless you come in at 2:45, now I'm spitting in that food. Like, oh, Bradley's here?
I'm just giving a spit. Oh my god.
Let me know when you work.
Just a big loogie just floating right there.
It's a waffle, right? So just one of the squares, just like that, just filled.
Oh, God,
that's gross.
But that's one. It's just because it's simply because ultimately when people are just being rude. About it.
Yeah.
And
inconsiderate.
They're unaware.
Most of the problems in the world come from people's lack of self-awareness.
Wow.
Tell me I'm wrong, man. That's the most true thing I've ever said.
And I'm pretty sure that this quote originated from Pet Peeves.
That's true. Most of the problems in the world come from lack of self-awareness.
We'll go back in the archives.
I still actually look back on that quote like all the time and go, oh my gosh, it's so true.
It's literally... I'm almost
it's
positive. It's my one thing I've ever said that actually...
Oh, if we were, then...
I swear it's that one.
Like it's something that you have to teach yourself to do to chew with your mouth.
Yeah, Dan, tomorrow ask your mom if you ever chewed with your mouth.
I don't, because they know I hate it.
Most of the problems in the world come from people's lack of self-awareness.
Wow. You know, that's when
Daniel Isaacs 2018.
That's
most of the... Sorry, you have to get it exact.
That's when you know that something it has meaning, when it continues to mean something. Sorry.
Another club. Write that one down. Both of us could be on shirts together. That's when you know when something has meaning, when it continues to have meaning or something.
I believe it or not, there was something in my head that I was trying to say.
What was that Magic Tavern quote that you were telling me about? Where it's like, different things mean different things.
Oh my God.
Jake, I feel like you used the Michael Scott mantra of like, I'm just gonna start talking and hope I find my.
Well, see, and here's the thing. I swear, my brain just moves too fast or too slow. There's a few parts in my brain that are operating in different speeds. Like there's the thought processing one that moves so fucking fast, and then there's the language one that's moving like half speed at least.
So there's just these two dudes in your head, and one just like saying all these great things, and the writer's like, "Fuck, how do I get that in writing?"
Yeah, no. One is constantly taking pre-workout, and the other's just doing heroin. Like that is the dissonance between.
You heard
the
it
two.
here first, folks. Jake's brain does heroin.
Only half.
Only half is brain.
Only half.
Wow.
Only half heroin.
Half heroin.
Cheap. Very cheap stuff. Heroin's not funny. Anyway,
Heroin.
The opioid
Not a
crisis is
sponsor.
real thing. Heroin, not a sponsor. Oh god.
the drug or the person in a fuck.
Case in point.
Wake up, heroin!
Hey Dan, what are you playing? I'm playing the new Red Dead game.
Cool, man. All right, well, we're gonna head out. We'll see you later tonight.
Damn, you're still playing?
Yeah, it's been like 10 hours and 13 minutes.
Really? Jeez, time flies, huh?
Well, Dan, I gotta say, you look great, all things considered.
And I feel great too. That's because I got my gaming clothes at Project Meta Online.
Project Meta?
Yeah, guys, Project Meta is a clothing company right out of Fort Collins that makes comfortable, affordable clothing for all your long gaming sessions.
Whoa!
Yeah, and all I did was go to projectmetaonline.wixsite.com/projectmeta, and they had a bunch of cool designs.
Wow! But Dan, you know me. I'm all about saving money. Is there any way I could get a coupon?
You sure can. Just use coupon code SIDEBAR to get 10% off of your purchase.
Awesome! Thanks, Project Meta! Okay, Bradley, you got any? I got another one locked and loaded.
yeah.
Just go. I'll think of something.
Car recalls.
What?
Car part recalls.
What?
Piss me off.
Where are these coming from?
Car part?
From my life.
Okay, I get why they're
recalls.
irritating, but like, why is it a pet peeve? Like, I feel like everyone is irritated by that.
I don't think pet peeves should be. I guess you're right.
Can you explain exactly what it is that
I
you
have
mean?
a story actually.
Yeah.
So, the Saturn, right? There was a point where the Saturn Ion, which is my first car, it was like the models 2003 to 2007 of the Saturn Ion plus like 8 other Saturns had a product recall in their ignition. And it was the part in the ignition that keeps the key in lock once
Yeah,
it's
because
on.
my Cobalt had the same problem.
Yeah, okay, so that was fucking scary as hell.
My car turned off once when I was driving.
Me too!
Just
Oh
shut
my
the
gosh,
fuck
do you
off,
want to
yeah.
share stories about
Sure, we
it?
can compare horror stories.
Oh my
They happened
gosh.
twice actually.
Okay, so I was fucking blessed, fortunate to have had this happen when it happened because people died from it. Like, people were on the highway when their car turned off, and then, like,
Yeah.
it was scary stuff.
Yeah, no, it's
Saturn, and at this point, GM had acquired Saturn, so GM lost a
that's-
shit ton of money. So I was just leaving my high school gym from a basketball game, right? I think it was a junior. And I had just gotten my license I've probably only been driving for 6 months or something. And so we're driving out of the parking lot. And you know how parking lots are after events. Like, it's pretty slow, and it's kind of moving, and it's not. But people want to go. So there's this, like, urgency
to get out
without the speed that comes with it. So I'm driving through the parking lot, and I'm at the point now where I'm out of, like, the parking area. Now I'm just in the aisle of cars that's now just trying to get out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I had just I had just waited for people to walk across the sidewalk. So now I'm driving again. I'm about 10 miles an hour because there's like quite a bit of distance between me and the car in front of me. And my key, because I got my fob and my key and my lanyard on a key ring. And the fob got caught. Just it like, you know how sometimes the rings can get kind of caught. And so it was just making this annoying noise on the plastic where the ignition goes in. So I just like moved the fob so that it was untangled.
Literally.
And my key just turns out of ignition. So I'm driving about 8-10 miles an hour, keep an eye on the road, looking at my ignition. I go, that's weird. So I just go to turn my car on again. Nothing happens. So I'm going into panic mode a little bit. I go, okay, that's fine. I go to put on the brakes, but my car's off, so now my brakes are locked. So now I can't hit the brakes. I can't move my car out of drive because I can't push on the brakes. And now my steering wheel's locked. So I'm like, I'm just hoping nobody walks in front of my car because I can't do anything. And so I'm going about, at this point, it's only about 5 miles an hour. So really, the stakes are low, but they're still there. And so I'm driving, and then my car just, like just this halting stop. Like everything in the engine sounded like it just corroded. Like it was, and so my heart's racing, and I'm panting, and the car behind me is honking at me, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what's going on. So I like turned my car on. It took a little bit longer to turn on this time, but it turned on, and I just drove the rest of the way with my window down, trying to listen for anything weird in the engine because I had no fucking idea what happened.
What it was, yeah.
And I didn't hear anything, so I didn't say anything. I was like, that's just what cars do. So I didn't know better. I thought that was every car.
Wow.
So then a month later, my parents get this notice. They get this letter from GM in the mail about a product recall, and then they're reading about not only what the product recall entails, but the stories that are coming from it. And my parents are like, Jake, we need to get your car in now. Like, are you okay? Has everything been okay? I was like, oh, actually, like a month ago that happened. And they're like, what?
Yeah.
You didn't say? And I'm like,
because you didn't think it. I was the dude. This is literally my
I'm picturing your car going like a steady like 5 miles an hour, like just really slowly, and then inside the window you just see Jake going, oh no, oh crap,
dude, I felt like I was going 50.
It's like a mile an hour.
and there's like
you hit someone, you just
someone.
It's like, what the fuck? And they hit the hood. I'm like, stop!
Yeah, someone's like walking in front of your car, just like looking at you, like, what are you doing?
And I'm just like,
like the Austin Powers scene where he's rolling the machine, and he's like, ah! Like he's like the other side of the freaking warehouse, like, get out the way! Like, yeah, no, mine is similar. I had a Chevy Cobalt, and it happened to me twice, and luckily it was both in like low traffic times or times where I wasn't going fast. One was in the morning. I was going decent speed, but it was early in the morning, like 6 o'clock in the morning. I was going to work back when I lived in Aurora, and a similar thing. My fob was all fucking weird, and like I was like, why is it flipped? Like I'm just gonna flip it back.
oh
over.
my gosh.
And I flicked it.
Oh my
And also
gosh.
I'm driving, and I'm just like, why am I stopping? But mine didn't lock up. I was able to brake and shit. Like I was able, and I was like, why did my car just say? I thought my car died, and then I realized my key had turned. I was like, oh, maybe when it dies, that's what happened. I don't know.
I don't know things about cars.
I had only been driving for like it was out of high school. It was like that summer, so I'd been driving for a couple months, and I was like, oh, cars are just weird. Okay, and then
How fucked up is that?
later-
That we're just like, that's life.
And then I was like,
I would have
okay.
done the same thing.
And then because I had a lanyard and like a key chains and shit like I do now. And then so later that summer I was driving home in the afternoon. It was rush hour, so it was like stop and go traffic. And luckily I was at a stopping point, and I had bumped my lanyard and my key went click, and I was like, what? And you know, when your car gets turned off in drive, it like it's not good for the gears. And I was like, oh, what the fuck's going on? So and it was traffic. And of course, the second it turned off was when the light turned, and everyone in front of me starts to go, and I'm just like, oh, sorry. And like people are honking and shit, like, I don't know what's going on. And trying to get my car started.
Someone thought you were just someone who's really bad at driving stick. Just stalled out for a while.
And so and then later we got some note saying that like the ignition is fucked up.
Yeah.
And at that point I had to take all my shit off my key and have like a little detachable thing. So every time I got in the car I had to unclick the key and just have the key and put just the key in the ignition. And then I finally took it into whoever, and they fix the ignition shit. But I was like, if I was on the fucking highway and I like bumped my lanyard, like, oh, my key fob's fucked up, I'm gonna fix it. And then I would have been,
The only good thing about it was my parents became angry parents and scared parents and went to GM and were like, we demand a car that my son can drive instead of this like death car. And so they were really nice, and they're like, okay, you can go to an enterprise rental car or car rental, and you can take whatever car you want. So my dad picked a Dodge Challenger.
Nice.
But then didn't let me drive it because he was afraid kids at school would key it. So my dad drove to school for a month in a Dodge Challenger, and I drove his car. So I was like, I got to drive it on weekends. So that was cool.
That's cool.
But okay, so the bottom line is my pet peeve is when car manufacturers care more about distribution and like the speed of which they distribute than safety checks.
Yeah, because it's just like I mean, I feel like I obviously am not in the car industry or know anything about cars other than how to turn it on, and even that sometimes. But it's like I feel like if that's your thing, if you make cars, make a good car. Don't fuck it up. Like you're charging a shit ton of money for this big hunk of metal.
Yeah,
it should work properly.
Yeah, but then to like but that's the thing. It's like. It'd be one thing if it was like one car or maybe like one model. Yeah. But for like 3 years of one model plus 8 other models with years this span for those models too, like that's just
and it's
there's
like,
a reason why Saturn was bought. Yeah,
it's either a horrible design flaw or they were aware of the issue. And then kind of like that play, that scene you did, where like I sent all the it was 21. Yeah,
all my sons, Arthur Miller.
We're 21
not
Pilots
a
with their
sponsor.
name.
Really?
Yeah.
Also not a sponsor.
That died from the plane engine.
Shit. So they're thespians.
Yeah, they must be, or they read the play in high school and were like, that's a funny name. Either way, but so it's just like, did they know the whole time and they were trying to cut corners? Did they think it was a milder problem that would be like, it'll probably be okay?
Yeah, I don't know. It's fucked up, man.
So
I have a similar story. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's similar in that it's about my car and about my key. I should just tell the story. I kind of a pet peeve is my car is a great car, right?
Oh, I know what you're gonna say.
My car is a great car. It runs pretty well for the most part. It looks great. I only have a couple problems with it. One is that it's a coupe, only a 2-door, so that's frustrating. And 2, it has some weird built-in like alarm system that is funky and like just has some weird like quirks to it. So real quick, just like before I start the story, one of the weird quirks that it does is that when I hold down the unlock button on my fob, it rolls the windows down.
That's a Honda thing. 'Cause I have a buddy whose car. It's a Honda.
Yeah. And at first, so the way I discovered this, like, was every now and again, because, like, my fob was kind of dying, so I would hit the unlock button to, like, unlock my car, and you kind of hold it and, like, press it a couple of times, and then, like, I would come back to my car and notice that my windows were cracked. And I just thought, like, not knowing anything about cars, I just thought, like, the friction on the windows, or, like, there was some sort of mechanism in there that was just letting them, like, drop and slide down.
Yeah, it worked.
And I was like, my car is broken. But then I wasn't able to, like, push them back up. So I was like, oh, this is weird. So then eventually, one day I was doing it, and I watched it happen. Like, as I was unlocking my car, I watched my windows go down. And I was like, that's not supposed to happen.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what the idea behind that is.
I guess it's like that they want to unlock their car and just have the windows rolled down when they get in.
If you can't unlock your car, they crack it enough so that if you happen to have a coat hanger on you, you can unlock your car manually.
I guess.
Maybe. But see, what I've always thought is that if that's the case, why isn't it that you hold down the lock button and it rolls your windows back up? Because that is not true for my car.
Yeah, I mean...
Design flaw on design
The only
flaw.
thing I can think of is like warming up your car. If it's a hot day, you can preemptively roll your windows down. So when you get there, there's some airflow. I don't know.
So anyway, apparently that's like a system built into the security system in the car that somebody installed and decided they wanted the car to do that. So anyway.
So it is intentional.
Yeah, it's intentional.
Oh.
Which is weird. But... So the story goes that I got out of class one day, and I tried to unlock my car with my fob, but it wouldn't work. Like, the battery had died. And I was like, well, crap. And, like, okay. So I was able to, obviously unlock it with my key, just manually. And as soon as I unlock my car alarm goes off.
For some
reason.
You had the key. I don't
I
understand.
know, I had the key. But basically the way that the system works is that it detects, I think, the fob.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, and so as soon as I unlocked my car, the car just thought it was being stolen. And so I couldn't get into my car without the car alarm going off, and then I couldn't turn it off because there's no way to turn it off inside the car. You have to use your fob to turn it off. So the car alarm was just going, and eventually after a certain amount of time it stops. And so I was like, okay, it stopped. So then I tried to start my car. Couldn't start my car because the fob has to be active in order to start my car because it detects the fob.
Oh my gosh.
So I couldn't start my car, and I couldn't do anything with my car because my fob died. So like my car was just a big dead hunk of metal that was yelling at people.
Insane.
Oh my god.
I know. There's got to be some way around that, but there wasn't. There just wasn't.
What if you were just like on a road trip through the desert or something, going to Vegas, and you stopped at a gas station, or and your car took a shit and your fob died?
Yeah.
You're fucked. What are you gonna do?
I know, and it's the dumbest thing because it's just your fob, you know? Like your fob dies, and like you can, technically speaking, you can still do everything that you need to with just the key, but you can't because your fob's dead.
That is irritating.
That's bizarre.
The fob thing is weird. Yeah, I remember when that happened.
Yeah.
It was just
Dan was
going
there.
off. I was like, I don't know,
Yeah.
call Honda. I don't know.
I
Call
called
Mr. Honda.
called a few people, couldn't get anyone to actually help me, but it was like, and the worst part of it too was that it was parked in a place of, it was parked in 2-hour parking, so it was like I couldn't just leave it there, or I would just get tickets and then a boot. So it ended up being pretty simple because we just went to like a King Soopers, I think, and found a battery for it and were able to crack it open. The sucky thing is that we had to like essentially break it open because it wasn't like
Break your fob.
How
yeah, you can't
dumb.
take it. So it's duct taped together right now.
Yeah,
fucking dumb.
yeah, it's So fix the fobs, stupid car companies.
Honda.
Yeah.
Fix everything.
Mr. Honda?
Yeah.
Cars, do it better. Be like Gillette. The best a man can get. No, that was their old one.
Yeah, now what's their
Be. The best a man can be.
Makes me think about like the cars that are like push to start. You know?
Oh, yeah,
'Cause they,
mine's like that.
They detect the fob.
Yeah, that's how you just-
Yeah, that's
yeah.
how you. But what if your fob dies? Then you just can't start the car.
yeah.
Fucked.
Do they have something for that?
Check this out. You ready? Bam!
Nice.
It's got a key.
It does
in
have a
the
key.
fob.
See, that's smart. I think it's just because my car's old and it was before they were thinking about those things. They were just like, great security thing.
Gotta have the fob to open the car.
Nothing could possibly go wrong with a battery-powered security measure.
Let's hope these people don't live in a rainy climate. Or don't drop it in the toilet. You know, it's like, that sucks. All right, I got another one, and this is the big
right.
one. This is the one that
This is
really...
the
heavy dark
This is the
one?
heavy dark one.
Yeah.
This is the one that really irks me.
That was me being heavy and dark. I'm just going to be
It
myself,
sounded
though.
like Christian Bale being
Yeah, I
Batman.
thought you were going to be...
Oh.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
I thought you were saying that was me being Batman.
That was... No, sorry.
right.
I wish I had.
Well,
Would have been better than what I
pretty
did.
good. It was a pretty good impression
Thank
of
you.
Batman.
Thank
so
you. Thank you.
Don't,
Well done.
don't beat yourself up for it.
All right. Well, still will, but
you should have been like, yeah, that's what I meant.
that's what I meant.
Hey, don't
Okay,
be
I'll
a Jake
cut that in.
Gyllenhaal, okay? Dan
Yeah,
gets it.
yeah. Don't be a Jake Gyllenhaal.
Do you not like Jake Gyllenhaal?
No, the guy that
Apparently-
our guest speaker yesterday directed him in Little Shop of Horrors, and he says he's very self-deprecating and very he's
Oh,
very
no
hard on
kidding.
himself
Yeah.
for little things.
Oh, I wish I had gone to that.
We're really outing Jake Gyllenhaal
Yeah.
right now.
Hey
Sorry,
Jake, shout out.
Okay,
Velvet Buzzsaw, by the way, not a great movie.
so here's my
It's a new
pet
one
peeve.
on Netflix.
Here's my pet peeve. Snapping.
Like this.
Let me explain. Now this this is not meant to offend, or this is not a personal attack towards anyone that snaps. Listen, when you snap, when someone says something that you like, or someone says something that you agree with.
Yes.
And here's why I hate it, because I hate it for a multitude of reasons. First
I'm
reason.
so excited for this.
Anyone that anyone that I know that is a former RA and then quit knows how I feel about this. So basically, my roommates. At RA training, we go through hours, weeks of like 8-hour day trainings just on learning basically everything we need to know before the students come. So any sort of suicide prevention, drugs, alcohol, like everything heavy, deep, whatever. It's identities, all sorts of stuff. That's what we have to learn before the students come. And we would all meet in like one of the big lecture halls at Eddie, and we would like basically it would kind of be like a forum. So it was like a lecture and then a forum, like lecture, seminar, that kind of type of thing. So like people would throw out suggestions or say their opinion or whatever. And what would end up happening is the week started out where, like, if a speaker said something that people appreciated, you know, like whether it was empowering or whatever, they'd snap, you know, and so it's kind of like, oh, nice, whatever. But then what would happen is it then became, if someone had something to say, it became more about trying to say something to get snaps, rather than actually speaking your opinion and speaking what you believe. So then the only people that are getting snaps are the people that think towards a certain ideology or towards a certain belief system and value system that maybe isn't, that in this scenario is not correct.
Yeah.
So based off of your family of origin, your values and belief system, if you speak your truth, you're not going to get the same snaps because you're in a room that's dominated by people that don't believe that. You know, and so then it just became a snap contest. Who can say the thing that's most justice worthy, that's most empowering, the most
snappable?
Yeah, and so then it just becomes demeaning towards anybody that feels differently, that's doing the job for the same reasons, to help people and to help students, for financial aid, whatever it may be. But now it just becomes a snapping contest, and it's so fucking annoying. The other reason why I hate it is because I think it is. It's just another way to put attention on you. Like, if I snap, I'm just further articulating that I agree with what you're saying, and now I'm making this about me because I agree with what you're saying. And it's so fucking dumb in the theater. Let me explain. So last year at the KCACTF finals, there were some scenes where it was like the female character was empowering. It was lashing back at the male character. That's great. She's empowered. She's speaking for herself. She's advocating for herself. But then people would start snapping, and I'm like, hold on. That's not this person speaking. They're acting. They're in a scene. And it's just and then it takes away from the scene. Now the people aren't paying attention to the theater. They're paying attention to the people that are snapping and going, yes. And it's like, no, stop. Let the people perform.
I agree.
And so now, like, whenever I hear snaps, I'm just like,
yeah, no, it's definitely like, it's very attention stealing.
Seriously. And like, when you go to a place where like when you go to a forum, when you go to something where it's encouraging conversation and dialogue, but people are only snapping for one side of the conversation, it's completely alienating.
Yeah.
And then the snaps are now condescending if you don't believe that way. Because if you're not snapping, there's something wrong with you. If you're not snapping because you don't agree with this, or this isn't resonating the way it's resonating with me, there's something wrong with you, because what I believe is better than what you believe. Yeah. And it's fucked up. And like, I know that's so silly because it's just a snap, but it's like, there are certain places where it's acceptable and it's okay. And then I think that there are certain, like, in places
being abused.
Yeah.
It's
like
being overused.
When you're in a place like poetry slams, for example, I think that's a great place.
That's where it came from.
Right. And that's where I should say. Because in poetry slams, you're speaking your truth. This is an opportunity for you to speak on your experiences, whether it be positive or negative, and a creative outlet to tell your story. Yeah. And I think that without being disruptive and interrupting the flow of your speaking, snapping is a great way to just say, I hear you and I'm with you. Yeah. That's awesome. But when you're in a place where it's about learning, when it's about discussions, when it's about performance, like, you don't see people snapping during a movie because you know that they're acting. You know that it, like,
they're not going to hear it. It's like,
yeah, and that's the thing. It's like snapping is more like, I want you to know, like, hear me.
It's about getting attention to yourself. Because, like, it's like you wouldn't go see, or I hope you wouldn't go see, like, Hamilton or something and pay out the ass to see this play. And when the character says something you like, you just... Then no, that's because it's against theater etiquette. Like, shut the fuck up.
Now, I will say, Hamilton audiences are pretty rowdy. It's pretty fun.
That was probably a poor example, but when you're in certain setting, there's certain times for everything, and obviously the snapping thing is just it's becoming popular. Like everything, it's like a catchphrase or a saying, and it'll die in 5 years, and then people are like, oh, they used to snap. Oh, that's so stupid. Then it'll go back to poetry.
So again, just to clarify, if you snap, this was not a personal attack against you. If I love you, I love you. If I don't know you, I don't know you. But I just don't like that action. I'm separating you from the behavior.
See, that's good because I can't separate people from my. But if you come into my restaurant with 15 minutes, I will hate you.
You are a fucker, and I hate you.
I hate you, and so I can't separate.
I hate your behavior, and I hate you.
And I now hate you forever. Unfollow me from everything.
Unnamed man.
Unnamed person.
But yeah, so it really gets on my nerves.
I guess what for me what it would boil down to in a similar vein is just people just bringing attention to themselves when it's not their turn to have attention. Because that's what, to me, is what ultimately it comes down to. Is like, yeah, they like what's happening on stage, they agree, they want to, but it's like other people around you don't care that you are connecting with them. People don't care. People don't care. Everyone thinks that everyone cares so much about you, and and to be fair, people do and stuff like that. But people who are constantly sharing their opinions about everything are always like in your. People just don't. People have too much shit on their own to care about everything that you care about. Like people don't care.
Yeah,
there's certain like and I guess that spills over into like social media, like oversharing on social media. I guess is one for me.
Yeah,
but it's like, oh cool, you went to see this movie. I don't care. If I care, we'll see each other in person, and you'll tell me, "Hey, I saw this movie." That's what I don't want to see that you went to see the movie on Facebook. Like, okay, because I used to do that shit. I'm like, going to see Avengers, and I was like, why? No one gives a fuck. No one cares that I went and saw this movie. The people who would care, I'm going to tell them, and they'll know that But someone I knew in high school because we have one class together, and I'm still friends with on Facebook, doesn't give a shit that I cut my finger. Oh, that was kind of cool. I wanted to gross people out.
No, that was absolutely social media worthy.
And I thought about that.
IMO, in my opinion.
Because I had it queued up. I'm like, do people really give a fuck that I almost cut my finger off? Would you make that? I'm just gonna. So, but I was like, I'll share it because it's kind of gross.
Yeah.
But I make like 4 Instagram posts a year because I'm so like, do people care?
I don't even do that.
No, people don't care.
Yeah.
Every time, like, there are certain times where I get the urge to post on Instagram, and then I'm like, oh, what would I post?
And why am I posting?
Exactly.
Cool. Like, what's I had a fun day, but they don't care.
Yeah. Those are the big 3 I brought. I just been on my mind since I got back from the theater festival. Oh yeah, that's why we couldn't. That's why we weren't able to shoot at an episode last week. Yeah. Bradley and I were away.
Oregon.
Eugene.
Yeah.
Eugene, Oregon.
Very pretty place.
Oh yeah, the university was really cool.
Yeah.
Go Ducks, right?
Lots of ducks there.
Oh yeah,
lots.
Were there any real ducks?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Lots of real ducks.
Because there's no Rams walking around on campus here, so I don't.
Yeah, there are.
Know. He's one, and he's a
32,000 of us, baby.
He's a
Rammies.
I think we should get like a pack of like 10 bighorn sheep and just release them onto campus.
I think that's a great idea.
You know, though, what would happen if a bighorn sheep rammed you? I forgot. I read somewhere you would like die instantly or some shit like that. Like if a bighorn sheep were to full force like get up and like fucking crack their head into you, I'm pretty sure it would just obliterate you and you would die.
Wow.
If you didn't die instantly, it'd be a very slow and painful death of like suffering.
Bighorn sheep.
Why not?
Here's a quick pet peeve.
Yeah.
About autocorrect.
Yeah.
When you have a word where like you're missing one letter or one letter is off and you're like typing on your phone and you get to the end of the word because you're like, I'm not going to go back and fix that. Autocorrect will fix that. And then autocorrect is like, no replacements found. And you're like, it's literally like everybody, but instead I wrote every potty. I mean, just change the letter. It's one letter.
I agree. Come on. Autocorrect is bullshit because you know what, you have to get like a code for something, like it sends you a text verification or an email, you get like a code or like, but usually it's like a letter code, and you be like typing in like YMT or something, and it like autocorrects it, and you like hit submit. It's like, sorry, it's incorrect. Like, no, it's 6 things. Like, what do you mean?
I'll tell you what pisses me off about autocorrect. I think my phone thinks I'm dumb because I type out book and it autocorrects it to hook. I think I spell out book so seldom that it's just like, no, that's not a word in your vocabulary.
You wouldn't be talking about books.
I know
it's much more likely that you're talking about your hook passion.
You mean books? Because that seems a little strange for you. Yeah, that's my...
Yeah, it just, it takes words that are very real. Like, I'll type in and it types I'm. Like, it autocorrects it to I'm. It's like, nope. In is a real word, and it's what I meant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dumb.
Yeah. So the phone's really the same.
Sometimes on pages, I'll write a sentence that's perfectly grammatically correct, and then it'll like have a red underline under a word, and like it's trying, and then I'll right click it to see like what it wants to change it to, and it's like completely changing the meaning of the sentence, and I'm like, that's not what I'm trying to say.
Like,
but it says that the word is wrong, and it's like, I've made a grammatically correct sentence that's perfect. You know what? You want to change it to make it weird.
Cut my finger.
let's hear about that right after.
If you want to email us, email us at quicksidebar@gmail.com and give us some topics to talk about. If they're big enough, maybe we'll do a whole episode. If we don't have a lot to say on the matter, then we'll put it at the end of our episode and give you a shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out
Thanks
to
again last time to Alternate Rock. Give you
Yeah.
another shout out because we don't have any emails. So
Did he supply 2 ideas? Why are we giving
nope,
you 2 shout-outs?
it's just a shout out. Thanks for last time. Just thank you.
Well, I'm
for,
not saying thank you. Unthank you.
okay, you get 2 of 3. You're going to Hollywood.
Wow. Yeah,
You're going to
2 of
Vegas.
3. It's gonna be a no for me.
Actually, sorry, I'm with Dan.
You are?
Yeah.
Sorry, it's not gonna happen.
It's gonna be a no for me, dog.
Wait, okay, if we were an American Idol, who would we be? I'd be Simon Cowell for sure. You're Paula.
I'm
you're,
Paula,
You're
yeah.
Randy. Yeah, okay.
Why am I Randy?
Because you're the swing vote. Simon's the
Yeah, that's true.
Simon's the guy who's like, no. Paula's like, yes. And then Randy's like, it could be a yes or no.
It's a
for
little
me, dog.
pitchy, bro.
A little pitchy, bro.
It's great.
Which I think is
that's
funny.
true,
Did Randy
actually,
Jackson ever fucking sing, or did he just play bass guitar for Mariah Carey once?
I don't know.
I don't know
Did
anything
Simon
about
Cowell
Randy
ever
Jackson.
sing?
He owned the show, so he can say what he wants. He paid for everything. So when you pay for everything, you get a little more say.
Right.
But I sliced my finger at work cutting out potato.
Well, hold on. We still have other things to
We did
plug.
one of our
God
things.
damn it.
If you
Follow
remember-
us on Instagram at quick_sidebar. Or is that it? I always
Same with Twitter
Yeah.
and YouTube at Quick
And,
Sidebar. Facebook, Quick Sidebar.
Follow us. Share with your friends if you think it's funny. I don't know. I just want to talk about my stitches. I
And
really
go to
don't.
projectmetaonline.wixsite.com/projectmeta for t-shirts. 10% off using the coupon code Sidebar. Dan, tell us a story.
Jake has been practicing.
I have been practicing
I cut my
for
finger.
9 weeks.
Got 5 stitches. That's it.
That was your story.
Wow.
That's what I've been-
Fuck
That's what I've
off.
been saving up. No, it was. I was at work at the Waffle Lab on Sunday, cutting up
sponsor.
potato, and
Potato's not a sponsor.
I've nicked myself. Potatoes are a sponsor. I've nicked myself before at work.
The Knicks are not a sponsor. The basketball team.
Did we talk about the Knicks?
He just
Sorry,
said I
nicked
nicked him.
myself.
I was trying to play.
okay.
I was trying to play with the words.
No, sorry, I missed the Nick.
I nicked myself. I have before, so I did it
Listening
again,
is not a sponsor.
and almost cut the tip of my finger off. So.
Any nerve damage?
No, the doc said it's no deep tissue, just it's very superficial. I think.
Oh, nice.
Your cut is so superficial. Like
it
it's
really
so.
It's on the same hand and everything. Look at that.
Wow.
Even curves around the side.
It's like-
Yeah, we're looking
It's
at.
literally the
Ugh.
same, like practically the same spot.
We're looking at Dan's stitches right now, and
left middle finger.
It honestly just. And he's like shaking a little bit too. Which,
I haven't eaten. I've been to work all day. Yeah, I cut myself. Didn't think it was that bad. I was like, oh, it's just a little nick. And I looked down just to check it out, and it was gushing blood.
blood is not a sponsor.
Unless you want to be. Gushing blood. And I was like, it's fine. It's not that bad. So I rushed over to the sink and grab a napkin. I told Chandler, my girlfriend, who also works at Waffle Lab, like, hey, Chan, I cut myself. It's not great. It's pretty bad. She's like, oh, how bad? Because I've cut myself before. I'm like, oh, it's pretty bad. I was like, oh, no, this is pretty bad. And she's like, okay. And she went and told her manager, and the manager said, hold it above your head for 15 to 10 minutes, or 10 to 15 minutes. And I was like, okay. So I'm sitting at the bar in a restaurant, just doing like, well, you can't see at home, but I'm putting my hands above my head. And I'm waiting and waiting. I'm getting bored. And so I look, and when I pulled back the napkin I was using, it pulled back the chunk of skin. The glob of finger.
Stop!
The flesh kind of came back and then flopped back down my finger, sending out a little tidal wave of blood.
Now I
and,
know how you feel when I told my toe story.
and I looked at it, and I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna need some real people to fix this, because me sitting
real
here
people.
holding a
You all
napkin for
are
the next
fake.
hour is not gonna cut it, because this is some deep shit.
Not gonna cut it.
But then-
Hey! Thanks, Curtis.
So then my manager rushed me to Poudre Valley Hospital. No, we just drove normally. I just sat there in the car and held my finger. And
Nice.
the doc came in and was like, oh, that's pretty bad. And then numbed it, which was the worst part. Washed that with saline, which was
Yeah.
crazy because I could see
Yeah.
her doing it. She was shooting water. The saline straight into the skin flap fold thing.
Oh,
and I could see
gosh.
it, like water going
This is
in.
not a good image.
Blood coming out.
Oh.
And then iodine all over it.
Oh my
and then
gosh.
and then she pulled out the needle and the wire, whatever the fuck this is they sewed me up with, and I watched her sew me up, and I couldn't feel a fucking thing. It was the most bizarre feeling I've ever had, because I'm sitting there looking at my finger, watching her so into it, not feeling, it was like watching someone else get surgery. And now I have this killer scar that I'm going to talk about forever.
Nice.
Thanks for listening. I'm gonna go.
Beware potatoes, folks. You have to get your fingers.
I would throw up, but I'm hungry. I don't have any food. Thought I'd just throw that in because
Let's get this guy.
I'm always hungry.
Let's get this guy some
Always
food.
hungry.
Yeah.